Yeah, I think the US dollar is going stronger for a series of reasons. One, the current account deficit is not increasing as the economy grows, which is a very untraditional relationship. So if you can have an economy that grows, which needs higher interest rates, but doesn't at the same time produce a larger current account deficit, that should be incredibly positive for your exchange rate. So structurally, the changes in America suggest that the dollar should continue to go up. What's going to happen is that, as China slows, you will get to the edge of a great credit collapse in China. And then what they'll do is exactly what the Americans did. They'll print more money. So that both camps are wrong, because what you actually get is not a collapse in China, not a muddle through in China. What you get is a devaluation in China. Because if the government's going to try and get money supply growth from where it is today, which is 12, which is clearly not enough, it's creating some problems there, back to its peak levels, and its peak levels in China when they have a real expansion is 25 to 30. That is going to bring the exchange rate down. So the markets are getting pretty optimistic about a Chinese reflation without, I think, really understanding what it means for the Chinese exchange rate. And a decline in the Chinese exchange rate, as we will remember from 1994, is not a pretty thing for everybody else, for everybody who competes, particularly in emerging markets. So I think this is the shock coming to the world. Put it this way, if it genuinely devalues by 25 to 30%, then I think it's a buy. So, but ultimately in the long run, I don't think you can have a good currency unless you have a rule of law. So a currency is only good because it gives you entitlement to an asset, and that has to be a wealth-producing asset. And ultimately, anybody in the private sector has to have good legal title to that owning asset. So you can only judge a currency by its ability to produce a revenue. And if you don't have legal title, then that isn't going to be a good investment. Now, that's the key thing for China and the RMB. When China has a rule of law, when I can go to court and sue the government and win, then the RMB can be a good long-term currency, and not before that.